All right, welcome back to part 3. We are going to be talking about content, brand, right? And what is marketing? What does marketing look like in 2025 and beyond? So I think when we first spoke about content, we were really aligned with how we see the future of marketing and branding and how is it going to be shaped towards, right? So tell me a bit about your perspective. As a gym franchisor, you are investing a lot into variety-based content on YouTube.
Yeah.
Snap Diaries, right?
Snap Diaries to kind of show people behind the scenes what it's like to run a business, to build a brand. We also do our short forms on Instagram and TikTok to give people snippets, but that's more of a funnel to get people on the main channel on YouTube, right?
So what got you started on Snap Diaries? It's definitely not what your competitors or collaborators
what
are
anyone
doing.
is doing.
Yeah.
It's a good question. So I actually came across this YouTuber called Roman Sharf.
Roman Sharf.
Yeah, he has a company called The Gray Market in New York or somewhere in the US, I think East Coast.
Yeah.
I know nothing about watches. I don't really wear watches, but the way these guys were telling or like showcasing behind the scenes how watch brokers were working, I was really invested.
Oh.
And that got me, and now I'm thinking like, oh, maybe at some point I should buy a watch. And I was like, you see that transition of a consumer that is not familiar with the product at all, getting attached to a storyline or a character, and then through that experiencing an industry or product that they had not been involved with before, and then going to buying consideration.
Yeah.
So I saw this kind of like real time happen with myself, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I was like, there's no reason why in Southeast Asia and Singapore, where I don't really see that being done properly, it can't happen, right? So that kind of started me thinking, what can I showcase to people in a way that's entertaining to get them familiar with the brand? Because that is something that we struggle with the most, is people knowing about Snap Fitness, just awareness, right?
Yeah.
And of course, if we had $1 million, I would spend $100K on awareness brands, on Google ads and all that kind of stuff. But I thought this was a more creative way to get reaching people, maybe in also like the younger age segments. Yeah.
I think that's the ideology behind how we started Men on a Mission as well. Yeah. There is a lot in the Europe, UK, US region when it comes to brand content.
Absolutely.
So we like to say that the people of the West are really good at this.
Super.
And they mastered it, right?
Yeah.
But when we look at the Southeast Asian market, it's very lacking.
It's very lacking.
Yeah,
We're lagging.
Lacking and lagging at the moment, right?
I wouldn't say lacking now. I would say lagging. I think it's on the uptrend, and people are just catching up to the trends, because for the longest time in the Western regions have always been the lead per se in the marketing aspect of business. Although now we are also seeing a shift where China, because of their own internal economy and the way that they are marketing, they have a totally different.
I mean, the TikTok live e-commerce thing that came from China, where they're just selling stuff in like that's completely foreign to me. Wild, but it's making a lot of money. Like, it's working very well.
Yeah. But of course, there are some content formats that work really well for people-based companies, service-based. And of course, there's a group that works really well for e-commerce.
Yeah.
Product-based. And product-based. And being both in this service-based industry, why do you invest in a variety-based format? I mean, there's so many formats, right? Podcasts, there's variety-based, there is those kind of individualized content. Yeah,
it's a good question. I think if I had created a brand myself, I wouldn't have to do this, because I could just make the personality about the brand. But because Snap Fitness is an international brand, it's a franchise, I was trying to humanize it a little bit, right? So, because people don't care about brands, they care about people.
Yeah.
Right?
That I agree.
And with that, I was like, how can I showcase to people that we're not just this international player coming in, like we're people here within the SME community trying to achieve something, right? And it's about fundamentally, how do we tell that story? And then get people to connect with that story to maybe give us a shot.
Yeah. Well, before I go into the details, right, of what's successful these days when it comes to creating our videos, have you seen any ROI from your content that you have done?
I had a group of kids yesterday come up to me and be like, "Are you a YouTuber?"
That's a very cute ROI. Okay.
That was really funny. ROI. I think what I've noticed is my conversations with potential franchisee leads is that I would say 60% of the time they will have seen some of the content.
Oh, 60%.
And they will mention something like, I've heard you mention this, I've seen you mention this. So like, it's somehow the message is coming across for the people who are interested, which is good. And I think what's important is maybe not that's going viral or something, that the content is there. So that in case someone does research or does look at it, it's there for them to go and process.
Yeah.
Right. And that kind of having that funnel ready is almost more important than paying all that digital media and optimizing that, but just having that content library of all that reinforcement of the messaging of what makes us different, what are we trying to do, what's our mission, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I align with you on that, right? Because ultimately, I think business is about relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you have a very strong digital presence, or before someone even meet you in person, more likely also they will do some due diligence on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when they see a content that they are very resonant or they're very aligned with your values, somehow it makes a lot of business decisions and business steps way easier.
I would say that content is probably now the first building block for someone really cold who has no contact with you before to make that first relationship or make first judgment of who you are, who you stand for, or what you stand for, and the values and stuff.
There's actually like in our team, we make a big distinction between corporate content and the brand content, like the personal brand content, right? So like corporate content is specifically about corporate brand values, right? So Snap Fitness, about our locations, very much matter of fact.
Yeah.
But when it comes to storytelling and brand, we actually have it on a separate account. We do it differently because it gives us more freedom to not be under this corporate umbrella, but really be about the people.
I see.
Right. And I think a lot of companies or SMEs that try to go into content, I think are still a little bit too cold. It's about authenticity and about showing who you are, not the business. Right. And that is scary.
Yeah.
Like to put yourself out there. It is scary.
Vulnerable, right?
Yeah. Vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
But that's what people in this digital age are craving for. They're craving for authenticity and connection via content.
Although another side of it that I've heard many business owners talk about is that the other worry of it being so face-led or person-led that it becomes a distraction, quote unquote, from the company itself. It becomes tied to their face as opposed to the company.
Okay. Different views of thought here. I think as a founder or entrepreneur or SME, it is almost your responsibility to tie your personal identity or push yourself in conjunction with the business that you're building.
Oh, you see it as a responsibility.
It's a responsibility because employees, they come and go, but you will be there with that business till it dies. So, or you cut the business off.
Yeah.
Right? And believe it or not, even if you don't show your face, your personal identity or personal existence is tied with what you're building.
That's true.
Right? And there's just too much responsibility on the team that you're building or whoever you're supporting to not do that. So I think like as entrepreneurs, they're already doing it.
Yeah.
It's just they're not showing it. They're already making that sacrifice with their team. They might as well showcase that sacrifice to people so they can see how dedicated they are.
I see. That's a very interesting, unique lens. Yeah, because a lot of times business owners like to think about key man risk. They like to think about if they put themselves too out there, then their success or their personal journey will be tied to the success of the company. Yeah. Yeah. So I think there's a resistance because of that.
I mean, that's a key risk to mitigate, but that's why you have succession thinking, right? You look at any big brand personality that is now in that kind of succession phase. You have Berkshire Hathaway, right? So it was all about Warren Buffett, but he has successfully succeeded to his team. Forget it. He's like a financial YouTuber on YouTube talking about how to like save money. Not Gordon Ramsay.
Definitely not.
No. I forget his name, but basically he talks about saving and not taking on any debt on YouTube the whole time. And it was all about him. And then he successfully kind of brought in other personalities to keep the brand up and then move it. So it is a risk, but it's a risk to mitigate, not to avoid altogether.
Yeah. And it's very interesting to talk about this idea of corporate brand versus the human part of the brand. Right? Because I think especially for a lot of companies who are not very well versed with social media these days, how they will send a brief to their video team or agencies is that I need a brand video.
Yes, they do.
So brand video is very vague. What do you mean by a brand video? There's so many different tiers to it, right?
I look at Zaki because I think the first phase of us working together, it was very much a mindset shift for him, who's worked a lot in like corporate media and just like the quintessential, like you go to an event and you have to take a video, so you just kind of very coldly take video, maybe a few interviews and stuff like that. But
templated clips usually.
Templated clips versus that and storytelling, where it's about, it's not actually about, let's take the event as an example. It's not about the event. It's about this person and their experience in that event and what they're learning and what they like, what they didn't like, what their thoughts are about the event, would they go again? That's the difference between the two.
Yeah.
And what's difficult for, big companies to do is like, whose story are we going to tell? Who will put themselves out there and do it? And most of the time in small companies, it's the founder who will take that step.
Correct.
Right? But that doesn't always have to be the case.
Interesting. So now when you think about brand content, right, now you have a differentiation. Is it the typical corporate branding that gives information, very matter of fact, or are you trying to build a storyline? Are you trying to build relationship with the audience that actually sees your content? That is a good distinction to have.
Yeah. There's a few categories of content. There's educational content. There's inspirational content.
Yeah.
There's promotional content, right? And I think in our work that we do, we really try to be distinctive of like, this video is going to be promotional, and then this is going to be educational, and this is going to be value.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially the different formats as well.
Yeah.
Right. So yours is a little bit more Netflix variety based.
Yeah.
Right. Ours is podcast studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we dig into insights of masterminds, right? And then, of course, there is individual first-person camera kind of content. They just talk into a camera and things like that.
Yeah.
So all these are different formats, but choose a style that you find it relevant to your brand. I think that's the most important.
How did you find inspiration for your style?
Oh, for our style, we like to have conversations.
Okay.
And it's part of our work because we run a marketing consultancy company, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
So we are masters at asking questions to dig deeper to help our clients get clarity.
Okay.
So
awesome.
we thought,
Yeah, in fact, at the start, when we were running an agency, right, at the start of a project and stuff like that, we sit down with the core team members as well as the founder to do a full boot camp and workshop. At some point along the way, we actually had a thought, why didn't we just record that entire session?
Yeah.
Because that will benefit a lot more companies who are seeking that clarity journey as well.
I think it's also people want that conversational experience.
Yeah.
Right. I think for us, we looked at the content and we, believe it or not, we drew inspiration. We went on Netflix and then I literally told the team to pull up Meet the Kardashians right now. And we watched a few episodes and then we see how they were editing, how they were cutting, how they were bringing the sound in, the storylines within the episodes, how they're like introducing new storylines. And then that's really where, okay, we're going to take this format. This format works.
I see. For our inspiration was Diary of the CEO.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah. So it's a UK based.
Okay.
In 2023, it was the second highest grossed media.
Okay.
Compared to all traditional medias, all combined, they were the second highest grossed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is kind of their format style.
Yes.
Well, knock on wood, you guys will grow too.
Southeast Asia.
Exactly.
There we go. Okay, without further ado, I think we have 5 minutes left.
Okay.
Maybe you can quickly spitfire. What are some of the methods that work now to build brand content?
Okay. We're still novices as well. Not experts by any means. It's a learning journey. We tried daily posting and we tried posting 3 times a week. We tried posting the same content on Instagram and on TikTok. And we even cut up the long form and put it into the short form. Right. And what we had found is that tuning that up, so having a throughput of 1 post a day actually didn't increase our views.
Oh.
Right? So now our new hypothesis is that our TikTok content and Instagram content has to be different. Instagram has to be less frequent, 2 to 3 times a week, higher quality production, so better lighting.
Yeah.
TikTok has to be, I think we're still doing every day in TikTok, but different type of content. So actually there's no crossover.
I see.
Right? And then TikTok is very much vlog style. I've been practicing trying to record videos on my phone, not the best at it yet. And then almost the long form content will be independent of that.
Okay.
Right. So there's almost like 3 buckets of content that we're now testing.
Wow.
But TikTok generally grows or does better and doesn't penalize you for publishing a lot. But Instagram, if you post every single day, actually it's not the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have that same experience.
Okay.
So for us, because we do long form podcasts,
Yeah.
so the long form goes on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we start by doing reels, of course, with the 3-second hook optimized, and posting on YouTube Shorts and TikTok.
Yeah.
So we do that on a daily basis,
Yeah.
TikTok and YouTube. And one format that worked really well for us is carousel.
Okay.
You've seen those kind, maybe you can go to my Man on Mission show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So screenshots, picking out certain narrative
Okay.
and allowing people to just swipe through and read it because
Okay.
maybe they're on
On
public
Instagram?
No, TikTok.
Oh, on TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is the carousel function as well.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so that gave us a lot of virality.
Okay.
On average, minimally, every guest that come on our platform has about 50K views.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
You're the next.
I think what you guys have naturally because of the format of your content is you have guests.
Yes.
So you have new fresh blood coming in every single time.
Correct.
What we've also hypothesized is because we have the same characters every single time, there's a bit of narrative fatigue,
I see.
right? So we need to we've brainstormed different ways of still having the same characters, but different formats to kind of keep it fresh. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, it's the same type of thing every single
Yeah.
time.
Well, yours is more of the journey, right?
Yeah.
Of how you became from 1 to 9 branches to multiple
Exactly.
franchisees.
Yeah.
Ours, it's in terms of the brand, right? There isn't really a journey per se.
Yeah.
But we are using it as a platform to share ideas and thoughts in many different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess different formats have different challenges.
Yeah.
It's up to you which battle you want to pick.
True.
And then we agree with you that Instagram is not for daily posting. In
Yeah.
fact, it went down. And Instagram has a way more requirement when it comes to the graphics,
The aesthetic.
the aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
So now what we are doing is YouTube Shorts and TikTok as a testing platform. Whichever content goes viral, we'll put it on Instagram.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you're using TikTok and YouTube Shorts as a way to kind of
Test
validate,
narratives,
and then
yes.
whatever's validated, you then put on Instagram.
We will put on Instagram with a bit of tweaks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think the same format works, or the same product that you post there goes viral would also then work on Instagram?
Well, for us, we are not looking for, of course, virality is a bonus.
Yeah.
But for Instagram, we see it as a way to tag our guests to form communities
Sure. Okay.
and to have this cross community effect.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is our goal behind Instagram. So in terms of our Instagram, you realize there's lower follower count.
Yeah.
But every single video, every time we post with a guest, somehow it has more than 1,000 views.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's
we're
good.
cool with that.
So the engagement is high within the community that you have,
yeah.
right? Okay.
And that's our goal.
That's another thing that was a learning for us, is like really thinking about like what is a vanity metric and what is like will deliver actual value. I don't think we've there yet to figure it out completely, but we're trying.
We're all on a journey.
Yeah. So what's the KPI that you tracked for content?
In the past, we were focusing, because at the very beginning, our hypothesis is we're not going to figure out like amazingly right now. So let's just put what we think is right, which was more output driven.
Yeah.
So getting the infrastructure right to be able to post once a day and be able to create the long form videos and just getting that out there.
Yeah.
Right. At the very beginning, the way we would shoot short form videos, I would give Zaki like an hour, like 3 hour slot. I said record. I just talk to the camera for 3 hours, and then we just cut that up into different topics.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of developed now into like having different forms and a planning stage. So it's that learning process that's really important. Right now, what we're doing, we're still measuring output, so how much we are publishing, but then also the engagement rate, follower account growth, and my dream would be, I think this is the ultimate marketing hack, is when you have a YouTube channel that actually generates revenue and that refunds basically your marketing department. Sustainable marketing, which is having marketing that actually generates revenue and then feeds back into the loop.
Yeah.
That is the golden goose.
Oh, I love it. I love the topic on sustainable marketing. I feel it can be a podcast by itself.
You can deep dive on that for sure. Yeah. I don't want to claim credit. I got that from Alex Ramosi.
Oh,
To be
okay.
fair, yeah,
Sustainable marketing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, looking forward to our upcoming project, which we will
Yes.
not review more details.
Secret.
But yes, as what no one does, he likes to do something very unique that nobody else has do. So that's something you can expect. So we'll review more details when it comes.
Yes, we'll do. It'll be
Yes.
exciting.
Awesome. Okay, so this is the end.
Yeah.
Usually when we end, we have this ritual where we ask our previous guests a question to ask to the next guest.
Ooh, okay.
When was it in your career that you decided to be a role model for the people you want to serve or the people you want to impact?
I think fundamentally the way we think about leadership in our organization, I mentioned this before, there's like leading self, leading others, and leading systems. But there's a crucial part where in the implementation aspect of that, there needs to be role modeling throughout the whole organization. Because it's not just from top down, it's also from middle management and everything. So role modeling, I think, is a constant thing that any leader, or if you have direct reports, you have to think about, because you set the tone, right? And if you don't follow through and exemplify the values that you're trying to instill, they're never going to catch on. So I think role modeling is super important, and it should be done from day one when you are defining your value base or what you guys are all about. And I wouldn't also be afraid that if, for example, something isn't feeling right, like you're trying to role model something, but it's not coming easy.
Yeah.
Is that something that the values have to change, be adjusted? Or is that something also for you to work on yourself? Right? It's a good thought to have to keep yourself in check.
Yeah. So when you started your first club, Snap Fitness, right? You felt that from day one, you had to be that role model.
Yeah, I think so. I think from day one, it was very important that I was on the ground. I was there with my team. I see them a bit less now, but that was very important for me. But the values at that point hadn't really been defined yet. We only really came with that leadership framework later.
Okay.
But then the moment we crystallize those things into words, and it's very important not just to have the high level statement, but also what does this value look like in actual behavior, right? And it almost becomes a framework that we use today to evaluate our employees quarterly.
Yeah.
But I also get evaluated by my team.
Wow.
So that's really important.
To you, an icon is someone who holds the values that you decided you need to have for the company, or you have co-created together with a founding team.
Yeah. And that when you role model it, it's not just you holding them accountable, but you holding yourself accountable and your team holding you accountable.
Wow. That's a really grounded answer.
Yeah. And I tell my team that too, like, we are here to hold each other accountable. You need to call me out when I'm out of line in any of these things. My question to you is, what is your ultimate life goal and what does freedom mean to you?
Wow, love it.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for coming, Noah.
you.
It was
Thank you.
great.